Hi everyone. There's more evidence of water existing on Mars in the past. There's evidence that shows that water on Earth didn't come from comets hitting the Earth. And finally, the 10 top physics breakthroughs of the previous year have been announced by a magazine. This is your weekly science news with me, the UK astronaut. It's a long-standing mystery of a mountain that's inside the crater that NASA's Curiosity rover is in has been solved. In the middle of this crater there's a giant mountain. The crater is called the Gale crater, and no one really understood where this mountain came from. But scientists think they've probably solved this mystery. And what they think is that this crater in the past was actually a giant lake on Mars, and the water started flowing in down the side of this giant crater. And as it came in, it left all the sediment, all this rock and dust and things like this, and it pushed it towards the centre of the crater. And over time, this started building up and getting higher and higher, and it sort of built a small, well, relatively large mountain in the centre. And this has slowly worn away since, but actually you can still see this mountain at the centre of the crater. Now, scientists originally thought that maybe it was created when some kind of meteor hits the surface of Mars, but they actually now think that it used to be a lake. Now, what this is really interesting is it now suggests there's a lot more water in Mars in the past than we thought, because that's been a lot of water to build up this sediment over time. So it gives this impression of a very watery and long water history on the surface of Mars, which is really, really interesting. So the European Space Agency mission Rosetta has shown evidence that water on Earth probably didn't come from comets, as has been expected and theorised for many, many years. Now, what they did was that the Rosetta mission has been studying the comet 67P. Now, they've been studying the composition of the comet, and they found it didn't have a lot of water on it. In fact, much less than they expected. Now, what people think is that in the previous history of the Earth, billions of years ago, lots of comets containing lots of frozen water hit the surface of the Earth. And when they hit the surface of the Earth, the ice broke down and melted into water, and this is where we got all the big oceans and lakes on the surface of the Earth. But it seems that comets don't have enough ice water to be able to do this. What scientists expect now is it probably came from asteroids as well. And this is the kind of combination between the comets and the asteroids is where Earth got most of its water from. If you don't know the difference between an asteroid and a comet, I've got a nice handy link just here. You can watch a video where I describe the differences. So finally, Physics World, which is a science magazine, has announced a list of the top 10 physics breakthroughs in the previous year. And unsurprisingly, at number 1 is the European Space Agency mission Rosetta, which landed on the comet 67P in a sort of controlled landing for the first time ever. And it was really fascinating when we get some incredible science from it, both studying the comet, the composition, its interior, and lots of other things. So I think it's probably a worthwhile number 1 place in the list. There are also a couple of other things. There's some inventions and some technologies that improve things like fibre optics. There was some supernovas that were created inside a lab, and there's lots of other really interesting things that came out on the list. I'll also put the link in the description, and you can check that out, and some really interesting things to look up on, so definitely go check it out. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. It's a very sort of physics astro week this week in news, but just some really interesting things came up. I'm going to put some Christmas videos up soon. I'm not sure I'm going to do this week, but next week I should probably have a Christmas video up. But check out the rest of my videos. I did one on Chernobyl this week just gone, which I think is kind of interesting, so check that out. Check me out on Twitter at UKAstroNut, but otherwise keep liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all soon.